The following graph gives information about temperature of Beijing, China. The items include daily high and daily low throughout the year. You can see from this graph that, in daily high, the temperature of January is around 1 degree centigrade. What's more, in daily high, that of July is around 30 degrees centigrade, which is the highest. According to this graph, in daily low, it is around 22 degrees centigrade in July, a lower one. Finally, in daily low, the value of December is around -10 degrees centigrade as the lowest. To sum up, the graph tells about Beijing's temperature. This picture shows the pyramid of food. At the bottom of the pyramid, it is water, which is the most essential to human bodies. Above water, on the second layer of the pyramid, we can see fruits, bread, and cereals. Upper, there are milk, cheese and meat. Finally, it comes to junk food at the top of the pyramid. To sum up, this graph tells about food divided into different layers. The following pie chart gives information about students' hours spent at the university. The items include sleeping, leisure and sports, grooming and so on. According to this pie chart, traveling is around 1.5 hours, and leisure and sports is higher, which is around 3.9 hours. You can see from this pie chart that the highest one is sleeping, around 8.3 hours. Also, the lowest value is grooming, and it is around 0.8 hours. In conclusion, it takes students most hours in sleeping at university. The following pie chart gives information about the average household energy consumption. The items include other appliances, water heating, cooking and so on. According to this pie chart, the proportion of other appliances is around 24%, and that of water heating is lower, which is around 23%. You can see from this graph that the highest percentage is other appliances, around 24%. Also, the lowest point is cooking and standby, just 5%. To sum up, other appliances have the highest proportion of average household energy consumption. The line chart shows the projected population in Australia in millions. According to the chart, the Series A has increased dramatically from 20 in 2001 to 65 in 2101. Following that, Series B has increased moderately from 20 to 45, from 2001 to 2101. However, Series C has increased slowly from 20 to 35 over the same period. In conclusion, the projected population in Australia is expected to increase in the coming years. This graph gives information about monthly temperature and precipitation. If you look at precipitation indicated by the blue bars, the largest number can be found in April, about 300. The smallest one can be found in July, which is almost 10. According to the graph, for the temperature represented by the black line, the largest value is in March, and it is about 23. What's more, the lowest temperature occurs in July, just 20. In conclusion, mid-year is the coolest and driest period. The picture describes the wind machine. As can be seen from the graph, the wind machine is rotating counterclockwise and the rotation uses the power of wind blades. We can also see that the advantage of this wind machine is its no pollution, and the disadvantaged part is its dependence on wind power. To sum up, the picture shows a vivid description of the wind machine. The following graph gives information about the U.S. energy consumption by fuel. The items include coal, natural gas, and petrol and oil. The horizontal axis is the year, ranging from 1980 to 2030. According to this graph, in 1980, the consumption of coal is around 15, and that of natural gas is higher, around 20. What's more, the highest consumption of coal is around 30, and it occurs in 2030. Finally, the lowest value of natural gas is around 15, which is in 1985. To sum up, the consumption of petrol and oil is higher than coal, from 1980 to 2030. This picture gives information about percent of university and college students who did educational activities by the hour of the day on weekdays from 12 a.m. to 11 p.m. According to the picture, for full-time students in blue, the largest figure can be found at around 12 p.m., around 36%, and the smallest one can be found at around 3 a.m., which is around 0. For part-time students in green, the largest and smallest values can be found at 10 a.m. and 3 a.m., and they are 20% and 0 respectively. To some, no one is studying at 3 a.m. The picture shows different eclipse. When we look at the left-hand side of the picture, we can see the sun. In the middle of the picture, there is the moon, which is on the moon's orbit. On the right of the picture, there is the Earth, which orbits around the sun. According to the picture, the shade of moon called penumbra creates the partial eclipse. What's more, the middle of a shade is called umbra, which means that there is a total eclipse. In conclusion, this picture shows the formation of different eclipses. The picture gives information about the chemical experiment. As we can see from the picture, on the left hand, there is a bottle with blue liquid in it. Also, some chemical equipment allows the students to do the experiment. In the right of the picture, the man is observing the chemical experiment. Finally, the students wear protective glasses and white clothes. To sum up, the picture shows how a chemistry class is conducted. The following graph gives information about mean temperature world map. Data of different areas are displayed on the map. According to this graph, the hottest areas of annual mean temperature are located near the equator. In comparison, the coldest areas are found in the Arctic and the Antarctic. You can see from this graph that the most suitable areas with temperature lie around 30 degrees north and south latitudes. To sum up, this graph tells about global temperature. The following graph gives information about the population age groups in Australia. The items include female, male, and age. According to this graph, in female, the value of age from 40 to 59 is around 13. And that of the male is higher, around 13.5. You can see from this graph that the highest percentage of age from 0 to 19 is in male, and it is around 14. Finally, the highest share of age from 20 to 39 occurs in male. To sum up, the graph tells about Australian age groups. The following graph gives information about flow velocity, density and depth. According to the graph, I notice flow velocity is around 10 when density is 0.4 and depth is 0. From the graph, I find it is around 20 when both density and depth are 0, which is higher. What's more, we can see from the graph that the greatest depth is 75. Finally, the lowest velocity of the graph is 0. To sum up, this graph tells about the relation among the three factors. The following picture gives information about acid rain. According to this picture, photochemical reactions are driven by the sun. You can see from this picture that acid rain drops from a cloud with oxidation. What's more, on the ground there is vast green grassland, where some buildings stand and many trees grow. Finally, acid rain forms a blue pond in the grassland. To sum up, this picture tells about acid rain. The following picture gives information of the Iron Age hut. According to this picture, this is a cross-section of an ancient hut, which is triangular in shape. In the middle of the picture, it's a pillar supporting the sloping rafters. And the roofs are covered by reed thatch. In the hut, you can see ashes and seats below the ground level. On the ground level, there is the turf wall. To sum up, this picture tells about the Iron Age hut. The map shows us the annual sunshine hours for France. According to the map, more than 2,750 hours, represented by dark red, is located in the southeastern part of France. After that, 2,250 to 2,750 hours, represented by orange, is in the southern part of France. Noticeably, 1,750 to 2,000 hours, yellow, occurs in the middle and the majority areas of France. However, less than 1,750 hours can only be found in the northern part of France. To sum up, the map tells about sunshine hours. The following map gives information about Australian population density. Data of different areas are displayed on the map. According to this map, Melbourne and Sydney are the most populated city in Australia. In comparison, the smallest population is in the middle of Australia. You can see from this map that Queensland will become the third largest populated city in Australia. To sum up, this map tells about Australian population density. The following picture gives information about Australia inbound visitors. The items include countries and years. According to this picture, in New Zealand, the value of 2005 is around 1,099. And in Japan, that of 2005 is lower, around 570. You can see from this picture that the highest one in 2006 is around 1,073. What's more, the lowest number occurs in 2006 as around 410. In conclusion, 2005 has the most visitors. The map gives us information about the tropical rainforests of the world. As we can see from the map, all the continents include North America, South America, Europe, Africa, and Australia. However, when it comes to the tropical rainforests, they are only in the northern part of South America, the middle part of Africa, and the Philippines, Borneo, and New Guinea. In conclusion, the tropical rainforests are largely distributed near the equator.